back to Cinema Corner. I'm Blake, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Josh and Alex.
And we are back with our annual look at the year's movie releases. This year, 2024, was lackluster, to say the least. Yeah, Blake, if you want to start us off all the way back in January.
As always, these are somewhat in release order. Most of these are movie theater. There are a couple streaming-only kind of movies that I felt deserved to be mentioned. And as always, at the end, we'll do kind of a quick little, our accolades, our nominations, if you will, for some of the categories that we do yearly and have our lists ready for. So we'll start 2024, was The Beekeeper, starring none other than Jason Statham. This was classic Jason Statham doing just doing his thing, just killing people, going wild. That being said, none of us saw him, so it is what it is.
Yeah. Big contributor to that was it went out of theaters pretty quick.
Which means we could have streamed it pretty quick.
We
didn't.
Is that true?
Is it available on streaming services, or is it still?
I'll tell you right now, I know
Amazon
for
Prime.
sure I saw my dad watching it, and he didn't buy it to rent it at home, so that definitely was for free for him to stream. So
I see.
That's like a Peacock or Amazon Prime type of movie.
Yeah, it's a Prime thing for sure. That movie is Amazon Prime in a movie. Moving on to January, we had the Book of Clarence, which both of you saw.
Yes. Let me just go first because I saw it in theaters. I think you saw it too in theaters. Did you not, or did you see it afterwards?
I don't know, ball.
I gave it to him. Never mind. I'm just starting to remember. Okay. I saw this. I saw it in theaters. I thought it was a really good film. I enjoyed it, and I then began recommending it to Josh, where he then watched it later on, and he gave his thoughts on it. If I remember correctly, you heavily enjoyed this film.
Yeah, I enjoyed it so much. I saw it actually in 2023. This movie was pretty good. I gotta say, it cleared up a lot of things. It's a solid book, and it worked for me.
What?
Was there the question?
Everything, but okay. Moving on.
What? Moving on to February. February. Love is in the air as we have Valentine's Day, and there was no better movie to see with a loved one than Madam Web. Unfortunately, nobody did.
Love was not in the air. Love was struck down. Yeah.
Might be the only movie. I don't know if I've seen that one for the Sonyverse.
Crazy.
Alright,
That's
Sonyverse.
the one you choose.
Speaking of movies nobody saw, Argylle, which had a crazy budget, a crazy amount of actors, and looked unbelievably horrible, and the box office proved that it looked horrible, as this movie no one saw.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, this movie was shit on by critics as well, so it didn't even do well in that category either. So that's cool. Good job for that movie. Oh, 33%. That's how bad it was. That is.
Yeah.
Whew. Yikes. Yikes.
Nobody was going to see that. Shocker. Then you finally get to March, which, January, February are always pretty rough months for movies. March is kind of where you usually start to get a little bit of an uptick of good movies, and this one kind of went crazy as Dune Part 2 came out in March. Obviously, we have a review on this movie. All of us, I think, had in our top 10 movies of all time when we did that video. So, I don't feel like there's a whole lot extra to say on this one as we have a full video, but obviously an absolute banger.
Without a doubt. I still see TikTok edits. It still makes me want to watch it again.
Feels forever ago.
It really does. That's crazy. That was March of this year.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
But like we said, if you want to see that full review, link up top.
Facts. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. No one saw it. Moving on. Kung Fu Panda 4.
Hell yeah. I saw it. And I like Dune Part 2 feels like forever ago because it also came out in March. And yeah, like I said in the review, kind of probably the weakest of the Kung Fu Panda films. Still not a bad film, but not gonna lie, I kind of forgot a good part of it. So yeah, yikes. Again, if you want to see the full review, it's up there. Because I don't remember it now.
It was a banger. And then to end out March, there was a absolute amazing movie on Amazon Prime called The RoadHouse, which was a remake of RoadHouse with Patrick Swayze from back in the 80s. I believe that one was. This one starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor.
R.I.P.
His debut. And much like his choices when it comes to women, rough. As that movie was not good. He was horrible. And, man. That's crazy that was a movie that came out. That was bad.
I just still remember seeing all of, like, the advertisement for that film. Like, it was everywhere.
Yeah, they wanted you to see it. And
Prime special.
They should not have wanted people to see it, because that was rough. Jake Gyllenhaal wasn't too bad in it, but, man, Conor McGregor was horrible. Not a good movie. And then we get to April, where this is where the stars come out, as you get Godzilla and Kong: The New Empire, which this movie went crazy. Elite.
It did go crazy. It did go crazy. I mean, you had fucking zero gravity fights in there. You got a lot of monkeys. Yes, and yeah, it was just. This is what people want sometimes, you know. It's the beginning of it's April. It's right before like the full summer feel starts to happen. You just need that big blockbuster film that you just sit down, enjoy some popcorn, and just be entertained. And this is what this film was. And I was entertained.
Do you ever think about the fact that if World War II didn't happen, we wouldn't have got this film?
Yes. That's true, because Godzilla was birthed off of that. Like that whole idea of like the atom bomb. And here we are now getting Godzilla and Kong fighting another monkey and ice creature. Hell yeah. America.
Fuck yeah!
So Monkey Man also came out in April.
Josh?
Somebody saw it, didn't they?
Oh, I'm the only one to see it, right?
Yes, you have, sir.
Good. If I saw it in the theaters, I think I would have liked it a bit more. It's a good theater movie. Didn't see it in theaters, though. This is just John Wick, but monkey. And with some definitely more of a political backstory. It's not political backstory, but more of political storytelling.
Like weaved in, right?
Yeah, I mean, the whole story is basically about a lot of bad shit going on.
I see.
What's going on with those drones? Anyways, moving on, we got Civil War, A24 movie.
Who saw this?
That silence is deafening. Then we go to Challengers.
Oh, have you seen this yet?
One of these days.
Kind of want to. I'll be honest.
Really?
Yeah, because, as of this recording, I signed this to Blake, but...
Facts.
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, the more people that I talk to that have seen this movie, the more I increase the odds that I will see it.
Interesting.
I haven't heard a single person badmouth it.
Well, that's interesting to hear.
I see.
And then we
go to a stand a chance.
Nobody has ever badmouthed Rebel Moon Part 2.
Hell yeah. I saw it just because I saw the first part, just to see what it was all about, and God, it was bad. It was rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just for shits and giggles, I sat down and saw it because my parents were watching. I'm like, "Are you gonna watch part 2?" They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay." I'm gonna sit down and try, and it was long. That's all I remember. I don't remember part 1 at all. like at the moment of me sitting down to watch them, did not remember it. Slight images started to come back to me, and then can't remember part 2 now.
Yeah, let's hope that was the death of her career, that movie.
Yeah. Zack Snyder, you suck. You're horrible. You're such a bad director. Nobody wants your 5-hour-long movie because you're so bad you need 5 hours to try to tell a story, and they still suck. We get it. Slow-mo. You're terrible.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Thank you for reminding
bad.
me. So much slow-mo in those 2 films. So much.
Yeah, same
slow-mo.
with his 4-hour-long Justice League, which was unbelievably horrible. The Fall Guy came out in May to start the blockbuster summer. Really, May is kind of the start of all that. Obviously, this was a big one with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt.
Awesome.
I enjoyed this.
I enjoyed
it.
film.
Yeah.
It's a fun summer theater flick.
That not a lot of people saw, and that's quite unfortunate because this was actually a pretty good film.
I don't understand the lack of giving this movie a try.
Yeah.
Especially in May. Came out on a good day.
It did.
Really don't get it.
That is it.
Rest in peace.
Monkey.
More monkeys.
One more. Yeah, I wonder what it was, just a very big theme on monkey.
Yeah, why wouldn't you have? Obviously, we have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, the rebirth of the series, and it was pretty good. Definitely has me interested for the future of this if they do a trilogy or whatever they do, but definitely was a good introduction back into this world and this franchise.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, like you said, it's literally like the conduit to what could potentially happen in the future with what seems to be a planned trilogy. So, again, just like Rise, it's a good starter, but I need more. I need more monkey.
Have you seen the Bourne trilogy?
I have.
It's been a minute.
Been a minute though.
Yeah.
Identity, supremacy, and ultimatum.
Yeah, I just don't know. When you said trilogy, just some reason Bourne came into my head. So.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a sleeper agent.
Pretty sure there's 5.
Yeah, it was a bit of a sleeper agent.
Wait,
5?
there's 5, isn't there? Because there's
5.
Identity, Supremacy, Ultimatum, and then there was the one with
Legacy, wasn't there one?
With Renner, yeah, and then he came back with just the movie Jason Bourne, and that's where that famous clip is from, where he's like, "Holy shit, is that Jason Bourne?"
That might be the only Bourne movie I've seen.
I definitely haven't seen all of them. I can tell you that right now. Don't know which ones I've seen. Definitely not all. Then
I've
we go
seen
to If.
All of them minus the most recent one.
No one's seen
know,
it.
Paul. If this movie was actually pretty good, got me in the feels a little bit, and pretty enjoyable family movie. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot more to say about it.
Is this the Imaginary Friends one, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
Pretty good. A little twist at the end that was kind of cool, but overall, I mean, this was a pretty enjoyable movie, actually. I don't think it did too good, but I don't have regrets that I saw it. And then we have an obvious May release, The Strangers Chapter 1. That just feels like a May movie, doesn't it? Totally not near, fall, October, anything like that.
Yeah, I wanted to give this movie a shot, and then it was hit with really, really bad reviews. It launched with like a 30% on Rotten Tomato, so I never gave it a shot because I was like, wow.
Wow, you're letting other people influence you, Josh? Crazy.
When it comes to horror films, you gotta.
Oh,
21%?
21%? Yikes. Can you do something for me?
Speaking of movies with a 21 on Rotten Tomato, or at least should, Furiosa. That one came out in May. Boy, that movie should have just not come out. That sucked.
See, I feel like I don't know, Josh, did you hate this as much as Blake did, or were you kind of like a little bit less hate? It was kind of just disappointing.
It didn't meet expectations. That's how I would describe it.
Okay, yeah, then we're kind of at the same level. Like, I enjoyed certain aspects of it, but overall, it did not live up to the Fury Road kind of vibe that I was wanting. But yeah, that's quite unfortunate, I would say.
Then we'll go to June, where Quiet Place Day 1 came out, and another shitty movie.
It was
That movie
missing
sucked.
Krasinski. Not the same.
Origin films they're so lame. Like, just do it the first time. It never
Right.
is good. It never works because you also never actually give the part that you really actually want to see in the origin film. And you try to launch a story about two characters you don't give two shits about it at the end. Because if it's already established
mainly,
universe.
you know that they're not going to come up again. Or at least not in the ones that have already been established.
It doesn't work, man. It does not work.
Also, when you're writing, it's just the same thing of like, oh, it's super quiet, jump scare, wow, the monster's here, run away. Now it's super quiet, and just repeat for like an hour and a half. It's like, wow, you're so good at writing. You should partake in writing like Sonyverse movie with how talented and creative you are. Then we have
they've probably
Hitman.
been doing it.
Nope, Sonyverse has just been using Folie AI because not even humans, I don't think, can make that bad of movies. Hitman, Netflix only, Glenn Powell. Movie was a banger. It was a great stream movie for the summertime. Enjoyable, fun, then you move on from it kind of movie.
Agreed. It was a fun time. It was a fun time. Especially with Blake here. It was fun.
It was a solid summer, just streaming the movie. Speaking of a solid summer movie, Bad Boys Ride or Die, which kind of a banger. Big fan. I enjoyed this movie a lot. I think I saw it twice in theaters, actually, technically.
So much of a fan that you took me to see it again in theaters here. Yeah, because we went to go see Quiet Place, and then I think the next day we then saw Bad Boys Ride or Die, and boy, was that a much better film. I was entertained. You know, some of the camera movement in that movie was just go stupid.
Dude, Reggie's scene is
oh yeah,
unbelievable.
oh yeah,
that's a top, dude.
Yeah,
unreal.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I was very skeptical, and after seeing that, I was like, okay, there's some good shit in here. Surprisingly,
I'm surprised because the previous one was really bad.
I don't remember the previous.
Yeah, I don't
one.
remember it that well.
We watched it together, but like I remember.
I know we did. I know we did watch it together for sure, but I just don't remember it at all. I know this one though. This is a good summer movie. It's a banger. Moving on, Maxxxine.
Another strong miss for the horror movies to start the year.
You watched this?
No, but it got reviewed so goddamn badly that I didn't give it a chance.
Damn.
Listen, Maxxxine and Stranger Chapter 1. I'm pretty sure you can even go to the video we were talking about ahead. I was like, yeah, I think I'd give it a shot.
Well, this one's not as bad. This one says 72%.
That's just false.
That's pretty good.
I've seen the clips on TikTok.
Pretty good.
TikTok.
What do you mean? Isn't it that Mia Goth girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know she's horrible.
No, okay, the last one, it was like, I won't spoil it. It's kind of like a movie we watched this year where there's points where you kind of just laugh. It's so silly.
What
It's
movie?
like that. We'll get to it.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Teaser. Stick back after this
It begins
commercial
with an
break
O.
from our sponsors.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Thanks to our sponsors for sponsoring that clip. Moving on, Inside Out 2. This one was pretty good. You know, Disney, that
Solid.
Disney Pixar kind of mix up thing. They do well, and this one was no different than the past ones.
Gotta say it though, first one's better.
It is.
Better.
It is. I did not see this in theaters like you boys did, but I did see it on Disney Plus afterwards, and you know, it was good, but not as good as the first one.
Has Pixar ever released a sequel that's better than the first one?
Okay, but like nobody does.
Oh, Pixar doesn't ever.
Really?
Yeah, but nobody
Ever.
really does. For the
I
most
mean,
part.
Dune Part 2 is better than the first one.
Oh yeah.
Debatable.
This year, that's not debatable.
That's
I
not
think it's debatable. I've talked about this. I think there is a case for the first one to be better. I think there is a case. I think the world building is more interesting in the first one. You get a lot more.
because that's what it's trying to do.
Isaac
That's
has
what I'm
an
saying.
awesome beard in the movie. Okay, that's the only reason why you like it.
I mean, but he looks
Rebecca
magnificent in
Ferguson
that.
is, I think, way more of a badass in the first one.
I mean, yeah, because of the role that she's placed in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
like-
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but like, is that
I
enough
think
to
the
like
world building is more
overdo
interesting.
everything
I think
else?
the world is way more interesting.
Well, yeah,
I think
because it
there's
has to
definitely some
establish
downtakes
that.
in the second one, and
Still,
I don't
like-
think there was a lot of downtakes in the first one.
Okay. what
Don't get me
about
wrong, it's still really good. I like them both, but I think there is a case.
Either way, Pixar never makes a good sequel. No, not necessarily. Not a sequel to the first one.
Okay, yeah. I'll agree.
Ever.
Didn't
Maybe
Pixar
Cars
do
2.
Toy Story?
Maybe Cars 2.
Cars 2 is ass.
Cars 2 is the most complex story in the fucking universe, bud.
Josh is going to follow along the one of a German supervillain way more than he is the theme of empowering and lifting women to being more and respected and proving their equality and that they're just as good as anybody else.
You're telling me that
Josh is not going to like that.
Dude, Cars 2 was World War II, okay? There literally was a British spy in the beginning that gets assassinated by a German motherfucker, and then there's also an Italian speedster that doesn't know what the fuck's going on, okay? But he's on the side of the Germans somehow.
Speaking of World Wars, what's going on with those drones?
And Jay,
moving on to the bike riders, this one came out. Man, did this movie disappoint. It had potential, and then they just decided to make it lame. Also, anybody out there, I believe it's Jodie... I think it starts with a C. Comer? That sounds
something
right,
like
maybe?
that.
Something Jodie, something with a C. Any idiot out there who thinks that her accent was good, horrible. Okay? It's so bad. As people from the Chicagoland area, her accent is unbelievably horrible. And I saw people talking about how good it was. You're stupid. You're West Coast elites who don't know anything except for what New York and California has to offer, and you're dumb as shit and you don't know movies. She sounded stupid as hell, bro. Awful.
Isn't she British?
Worse. They ruin everything.
Are you talking about in real life?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. That would make more sense. Go eat your beans and toast and learn how to do an accent of the Midwest, you fucking clown.
Don't hate
how did Tom Hardy do, actually, since we're on that topic of...
Tom Hardy did what Tom Hardy does, Alex. He killed.
Really? Who else was in that? Austin Butler,
Makes
right?
me want to kill myself.
Like
Shannon.
what? Okay, but like, in terms of the movie itself, besides her, is there any other part where you're like, that didn't really work for you? Because I'm curious.
Mean, the whole story, it was a super slow, not really building towards anything special. It was kind of like you were just there for a ride, and then it kind of ended, and you're like, I didn't really feel a whole lot. It was pretty anticlimactic and it was just a slow ride where you're like, that was a movie. Kind of glad it's over now.
Got it. Okay, cool. Did not know that.
Anything special at all. Moving on to July, where we have some bangers. Starting off, we'll do Deadpool and Wolverine.
What a fun time.
What
a fun time. And might I add, the only Marvel movie of the year. Which is crazy to think about because at one point they used to pump out 3 of these. And, obviously this is still because of the whole pandemic and then the strike and all that stuff. So now everything got shifted. But, I mean, Marvel came with a banger. And it needed it because for a while there it was rough. It was rough.
That was a desperation to stop the bleeding 3 from Marvel. And it did.
Yeah. It did. Good job, Marvel.
Talking about things that went on too long. Despicable Me 4, where after you get the banger of an opening scene of Pharrell cooking on the beat as he's driving up a mountain, the rest of the movie, throw it away. Just not good.
It's just a cash grab again, like with Kung Fu Panda 4. I mean, it seemed like it was the only Despicable movie, like even in comparison to Minion movies, that it's just like
they weren't trying.
There's no love or try in this one. They moved on. The actual animated team for the OG, they moved on.
Yeah.
It sucks because I've seen all of them.
All of them, including the spin-off ones.
I've literally seen every single one, but this one because it just looked like it had no love in it. And the clips I've seen of it, I couldn't do it.
It was not good. Not good.
What's a movie without love?
Movie. Yeah, I just somehow always see him, and I'm like, oh, damn. These are actually kind of good. Don't know how it gets me.
They know what they're doing. They're cooking. Speaking of movies that kind of came out of nowhere, Fly Me to the Moon, starring Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum, where he had his bit of a run of kind of being a part of movies that started with obviously a cameo in Deadpool 3. He had this, and then later he has another one. But this movie was one I didn't really know a lot about, and kind of slapped. This movie was definitely an enjoyable movie.
Okay. Yeah, I still see it on like the little advertisements on my TV every so often, but I don't watch it yet. Is it
Good.
like what would you rate it? Because I'm kind of gonna based off of whether I
don't
watch
remember
it or not.
what I gave it. I gave it in my thing, but I would say I probably gave it somewhere on like a 7.5.
Okay. Oh,
It was an enjoyable movie.
Okay. I mean, with two actors at the helm like that, I feel like it's bound to at least be decent.
Yeah, plus
So
there's
for you to
other
give it a
actors in
7.5.
it who have parts that you're just like, oh, they do good too. Like Ray Romano, he has a decent amount of parts in it.
Oh,
What's his name? Why am I blanking on it? Woody Harrelson, he's in it.
Oh shoot, that's enough to get me to see it.
Yeah, this movie's pretty good. Speaking of great movies, led by just the actor of the decade moving forward, Twisters. I just rewatched this about a week ago.
Why?
Well, here's what happened. So while I was working on a project, yeah, I was working on a project. I was like, let me just turn something on in the background as a joke. I'm not actually gonna watch it. It's whatever. Turned it on. 2 hours later, it was over. I stayed up pretty late. Didn't regret it one bit. And I was like, man, what an excellent summer movie that is. It's unbelievable. Just so good.
Yeah. It was a little too relatable, that summer, some would say.
Ah, yes. You're tornado scared, of course.
Yes. Yeah. Very good, though. It was fun.
Have not seen it yet.
You will.
You would love it.
Just
Oh, no.
That's a summer movie.
It is.
It slaps.
I'm trying to make that to 2 years, too, just like I did Top Gun Maverick.
Well, guess what? Come summertime, you're going to watch it, buddy. August. This is where summer's coming to an end, and
It's winning down, some may say. Yes.
it definitely is, because you got Trap, which, boy, this movie was not great.
This was M. Night, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I see.
And classic
Also
M. Night.
A lot in the trailers, too.
Yeah, it showed way too much. And classic M. Night, it starts with a pretty interesting premise, and then it goes on, and it's like, man, you suck at finishing movies. What are we doing? Some of the scenes and acting were just very weird and bad, and I get people who are like, oh, it's the whole point, but it was like, okay, but it's not good. It's just not. So yeah, this was a classic M. Night movie. Not a whole lot to say on that one. Speaking of awful movies, Borderlands, which
I heard was shit on heavy. Holy shit. That's a 10%. That is probably the worst movie of the year, rating-wise. Of course, we haven't seen it, so we can't actually say.
well, I have.
You have?
I saw it.
You actually sat down and saw this?
I saw this in theaters, yeah.
Oh, right, that's right, because you had
That was
like,
during the
pass.
summer where I had my unlimited thing. So yeah, I saw it. This was my time. You know what I'm saying? This May, June,
Right.
July, August run.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, saw it all.
Go on, King.
Wish I didn't see it. This movie was really bad. Not interesting at all. Not a whole lot to say. Just bad movie.
All right.
And then we go to Aimee and Romulus, which obviously both of you saw.
So good, it caused me to watch an old-ass alien movie. And I watched like 4 alien movies in a row after seeing this. It
did its job.
What a
This
banger.
is when you do like a prequel-ish kind of requel. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but they did it right. And they did it right because they chose someone that actually cared about the film. Shocker, Hollywood. When you actually do that, you get good product. Should probably do more research when you pick the showrunners or the writers or the directors of these projects that you want to put into production, because it makes a difference, believe it or not.
It was just awesome. And also all the behind the scenes for the movie. It was just cool. It was just cool movie vibes.
Yeah.
Banger. It was worth supporting it in the theater.
Agreed.
Now, speaking of, somebody who cares in charge of the project, we have Blink Twice, which was Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut, starring her I don't know. There's some news coming out. I don't know if they're still together. But Channing Tatum, her partner, at least at the time, I don't quite know what the current situation of those two is. But
That's what Robert Pattinson does to him, man.
What's up? This movie was a passion project for her. As we said, her directorial debut. Took a couple years for them to actually get it all together, but it was worth it, as this movie was an enjoyable ride, and definitely you could tell by some of the shots and stuff that she definitely can continue to direct movies, and I will be interested in them.
Yeah, just a go-to debut. Overall solid all around. Was fun, and a lot of times when it comes to these movies that have a lot of twists in them, they tend to not know how to finish the film.
Mm-hmm.
Finish pretty good.
Cool. I might have to watch it then.
Yeah, it's worth a watch at some point. This is a good, enjoyable one. Then we go to September, which Beetlejuice came out pretty early on in September.
Makes sense, right?
Pretty early September. This one had a lot of vibes of the first one. If it gets over and you're not quite sure what you're feeling, you don't think you loved it, you don't think you hated it, you don't know if you liked it, you don't know if you disliked it, but it was a movie.
You're never bored. Not 1 minute in that film were you bored.
So, would you guys say, did you enjoy the movie-going experience when you went to go see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's like more towards the positive than the negative.
Yeah,
100%.
it's definitely in that. It's a strong 6 category for sure.
Yeah,
like it's not less than 6.
It's a positive 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No matter what, it's above. It's a positive 5.
Right.
You know
Got it. Okay.
I was saying a strong 6, not meaning like a high 6. I'm saying like it's a 6 probably, but a strong 6.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's an enjoyable 6.
Yeah.
It's not a disappointing 6.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay.
Speaking of strong movies, Joker 2.
Still the only one to see it. I think this is when I go on my run, where I'm also making you, Blake, suffer in the run as well.
We get back at each other a little bit. We do a little back and forth.
A little back and forth, you know what I mean?
We'll see.
Yeah, I saw this. I said I was going to, and I did it. I did that, and I suffered.
Man of your word.
Man of his word.
I suffered, and it caused a shriek to happen, and that shriek was pretty painful. It was a painful shriek, but there is a movie to break the shriek. But a lot was going on, even at home watching movies. It was just going bad. It was going bad during these times.
Yikes. I'm just now looking at this list and really paying attention to this last half, and it's just oof.
It is a rough 2024, especially towards the end, as we then get to Megalopolis, which
You know what's crazy? We have seen so many bad movies to end the year, and that I don't hate this film as much as I did exiting it.
It's not ridiculous to say that. It's not ridiculous to say that.
Because I remember I laughed so much in the movie. Okay, it's not a good movie, but the movie theater experience with friends, fantastic.
It insists upon itself.
46%, by the way.
Wow, that's
a little high.
High.
I see. Cool. Wow. Yikes.
And then Josh, thankfully you got one to split up the streak as a Smile 2.
Yeah, this one. I mean, just kind of like Beetlejuice 2. I mean, how did you match the vibes perfectly as the first one? I rated this exactly the same as the first one, at 8.6. It was awesome. And if they dare or bold and brave enough to do a third, I will be there.
Cool. Yeah,
Speaking
I saw the first one. But would you recommend me to see the second one, since I've seen the first one through 100%. The Cinematheque?
I think Blake would even really like the second one more than the first. I think both of you guys would like the second one more than the first.
That's crazy to think I would care about it.
The fuck?
Just horror type movies don't interest me.
It's because you're scared.
No.
Allegations.
Venom Last Dance. This was a pretty spooky movie in my eyes.
Oh boy, okay. If you say that doesn't help your case.
It's spooky because of what they got away with.
Yeah. Well, there's another movie that gets away with a lot worse.
Wait a minute. I'm just now putting things together. Madam Web came out early in the year. Venom came out in October, and Kraven came out this year. Three Sonyverse movies in 1 year. That is a lot more than any one person should sit down through.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Crazy.
Venom Last Dance was rough. We recently did a review on that. I mean, pretty much all of these at this point, we're going to have a review that just came out. So there's not a whole lot to say besides... Yeah, glad it's The Last Dance, because it's just like when Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams cringely post Last Dance stuff, and it led to absolutely nothing. That's what this was, just a letdown. You're not.
What do you mean, dude?
I mean, this is Tom Hardy's Aaron Rodgers Jets.
On the Jets. Last Dance before we go to a shit organization. Yeah. Hell yeah.
This made me I'll never look at Tom Hardy the same because of this film.
Okay, come on.
Wow.
Come on.
Yikes.
No, that's just
no. You haven't seen Peaky Blinders. You don't get it. You don't get it.
He's hurting the cause.
Watch Peaky Blinders, and you'll be like, okay, this guy's goated.
Okay, he was carried by Cillian Murphy, bro.
Can he deny it? He cannot.
Tom Hardy. He's unbelievable in Peaky Blinders alone. And the scenes that him and Cillian Murphy have together are top tier by both of them. Acting insane. Speaking of insane, Gladiator 2.
You mean insane that this movie came out? That it happened? That, they revisited something that probably shouldn't have been revisited? At least not in the way that they did it? Yeah. Then, yes, this would be insane.
Well, I mean, all of these last, 4 months of movies, 90% of them, we said, and, previewing this year, said it's probably not going to happen. And they somehow did.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
And for most of them, it shouldn't have.
Exactly.
This movie,
this movie we left as an okay.
It was okay. It was okay. There was definitely elements in there that were okay, but in hindsight, there's just
so much more though. Should have been so much more.
Yes, this was more disappointing than it was bad. I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a classic thing by Ridley Scott. Could have been so much better. Could have been so much better. But he finds a way.
Now, talking about good sequels, Moana 2, which obviously I have my own review about, but this movie was very good. I didn't live up to the first one, but that's kind of typical, and the first one's unreal, so you're not going to live up to it anyways. But still a very enjoyable movie. Just recently did a review. If you want, you could check that one out. But definitely an enjoyable sequel. They did a good job and set up for the MCU, the real one, the Moana cinematic universe. Can't wait to see that seen through. Then we get to hear December, which...
Sonic 3. It was actually
we forgot one.
Good.
Our bad. November. Also, we had Wicked, obviously.
Alex,
thoughts?
What? Did you see this?
So December, we have Kraven the Hunter.
AI shitfest.
There may be a review, there may not, because this movie, honestly, I don't know if it warrants a review because of how unbelievably bad it is.
But I kind of want to see the comedy that you guys would just go on and just spew.
It's
I
a
feel like that'll be
in the
entertaining.
face to movies.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Now I want that. I want that
to,
review. I want to see your guys' full review of this film.
I had to doubt the awesome quality of Randall and its audio because how bad this movie was.
Wow.
To then realize
it's not them.
It wasn't them, of course.
They are not the
problem.
Never them. It was.
On my birthday for some reason, but
was Aaron Taylor Johnson at least decent in it?
Oh well, Josh and I had similar thoughts of any thoughts of him being James Bond. Take that away from him. Take it away right now. Do not give that man James Bond. Taron Egerton, reach out to him. Reach out to literally any human being in the world besides Aaron Taylor Johnson, because
not Henry Cavill though.
No, obviously not him. Whoa, come on now.
Come on,
That
you know
shouldn't
the
even
people are
have to
gonna
be
sit
said.
He's got like that cult like Snyder, bro. Let's just stop it.
Leave him alone.
A little bit over him right
Well, he doesn't have a chance because his agent is horrible. Because what has he done?
now. Well,
So.
he's horrible. So.
Well, let's not go there.
Come on, guys.
Is he?
Mission Impossible.
Come on, guys.
Like,
Come on, guys.
He was good.
Peaked.
The Man from Uncle?
oh yeah, that's good.
That's a banger.
That's like the most. That's like the one movie where you have people like going back to and saying this is why he should be James Bond.
That is true, but that's also 10 years old at that point. So let's really think.
Yeah, it is. It's like 2014.
Moving on, Sonic 3,
Dude, so good it caused me to see the second one.
legit, genuinely,
SCU going crazy.
it is. And unfortunately, as of time of recording, we have not had the ability yet to quite see Mufasa. Same time, none of us are going to see Mufasa, so we'll just say that.
We're rebelling on that one.
We don't need to give Disney more money for these live action remakes, requels, prequels, whatever.
Not letting it make $1 billion.
Please no. Please don't.
Don't let it happen.
People, don't do that.
It happened once. Don't let it happen again.
And that being said, the same goes for Nosferatu, as we have not yet had the chance to see it. As this video comes out, it will already be out, and for sure at least a couple of us will see it, and there will be a full review dedicated to that movie. But that will close out 2024 for us. As we kind of mentioned, it's a pretty lackluster year.
It is. And
back half.
I have the trophies here.
Oh yeah, we have this blind out, obviously.
Okay. So, which one should we do first? I'm between For the Culture or Fold of the Year to start this list off. Which one do we want to do first?
For the Culture.
For the Culture. All right. For the Culture, which
mine is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Apes together strong.
Yeah. I was gonna say that too. It's like just the hype around it. Sending that again in the group chat was just for the boys' culture.
Mine would be Twisters. I thought the culture.
I take back
summer,
everything I just said. Twisters for the culture.
I mean, that would even the advertising was getting to you. It gave you that. It kind of was like it was an A-tier version of Top Gun Mavericks kind of advertisement, just getting hype into it. It was
it's a banger.
Yes.
It was a summer movie. I love when movies come out that represent the month they should come out in its season.
And it kills it.
Yeah.
It absolutely killed it. Yeah, it's a good call. That's a good call.
Thank you.
Okay, so by majority vote, then Twisters is the R for the Culture movie of the year.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, so then moving on, Fold of the Year.
Gladiator,
so of course, that's a fold.
I was so hyped. I thought it was going to be so good. You go in and it has its moments, and then it just falls apart with stupidity and lazy writing. That it's like there was so much hype, so much promise, and it had early showings of promise, and then it just falls apart. Just not good.
I mean, I can kind of see that, but
Dude, I'm
there's a lot of bad movies on here. I mean, personally, I would say for one that I saw was obviously Rebel Moon. That was fucking awful. But
yeah, but is that
the
a
ones
fold
that we all
because
see?
like you knew that?
Okay,
that's what I mean. Like a fold has to be one where it's like it had something and then it crumbled. It can't just be.
Then
horrible.
in that case, I would argue Furiosa then, because it had a big shoes to fill, same pretty much director, and it just did not hit. There was promising things in it, but it was just not as good as that one.
Yeah, dude, I'm in between those two as well. Gladiator 2 and.
Well, Josh, you are the tiebreaker here. Which way are you leaning more towards?
It's just the thing is, like with Furiosa, we had that like the advertising was bad. All right, the first trailer.
That's true. That's
the CGI was bad, so you went into that thinking, it's gonna happen, ain't it? So the whole film, you were like that. Gladiator 2 was different.
Mm-hmm.
Gladiator 2 was your last hope for Ridley Scott, and he killed it. So he's done. He's done. I hate to say it. Stop.
All right, then. You heard it here, folks. Gladiator 2 is the fold of the year for Cinema Corner.
Could have been amazing.
Could have been.
Cast.
Yes.
The craziest thing about that movie is that the cast was the thing that we were the most worried about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they did amazing. How does the cast do amazing? And it sucks.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is true.
Bad.
Oh man. Moving on. Third out of 4 trophies that we have, unless we want to add a new one this year. RKO of the year. Which one would you guys say?
This is an easy. Fly Me to the Moon. Had no idea this movie was even a thing. Didn't really know anything about it until like a week out. And then I saw it, and like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed this. This movie is set in, obviously, the moon, space launch area 69, and like the feel of it, the costume, and just the feel of this movie feels like that time. It's just, this movie for me is easily the archetype, because I knew nothing about this, had no expectations going into this movie, and came out of it thoroughly enjoying it, and definitely will rewatch this movie throughout my life for sure.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess for me, I would say The Fall Guy, because like I went into this also kind of like, did I just see everything in the trailers, and then I saw it. I'm like, wait a minute, they misled me, and I just came out of that heavily enjoying that film. So that's kind of like my RKO nominee.
Mine would be Alien Romulus. I literally went into that film never seeing a single Predator movie, never seeing a single Alien movie, to now for the rest of my life of if they release one of those, I will be giving it a shot in theaters. It was that much of just an impact. So that's with me not even seeing any trailers for it. I'm just saying, let me give it a shot. And it was awesome.
Well, interesting. We're in a bit of a pickle as we have chosen 3 different
Well,
ones.
I mean, RKO, that one's kind of, that's a personal one for everybody,
Yeah,
obviously.
for
That's
sure.
not going to be a grouped award.
Okay. All right. So then I guess that just leaves Gold of the Year. Which one is the Gold of the Year for you?
Do we really need to do this? Know. It's obviously Dune Part 2. There's
Dune,
no question.
Yeah. That's. I was gonna say it could also, for me, have been an honorable mention for the culture, just because of what it did.
Yeah, it's true. At least on Argylle, you went crazy for a little bit.
It did.
As written.
Yeah.
This movie is suffering from releasing so early in the year right now.
It is.
Dude, it carried that first half. Oof.
Yeah, I am glad it came out in March, though. That went nuts to start the year.
It did. It gave us false hope. For the whole year, thinking that movies are back, and yeah,
and then it fell apart. The end of 2024 was rough.
So yeah, when you do that, you automatically deserve Gold of the Year, and from the looks of it, we all are in agreement. So that is our Gold of the Year for Cinema Corner. Dune Part 2. Congratulations, you
can sponsor a video.
You can sponsor us.
That's who this commercial is going to play.
If you want to come on the pod and accept the award on behalf of the film,
yeah, we'll let you.
Gladly give it to you.
We'll carve time out for you to come on. Yeah. I think to wrap this up, there's one last award, the Old Yeller Award, where you just got to put them back behind the shed and shoot them, and that goes to Francis Ford Coppola, Ridley Scott, and M. Night Shyamalan. Your time has passed. You're done. Don't put any movies out. You're done. We've seen enough of it. Zack Snyder, you're in that too. I just remembered him too. Jump on board. But that's gonna do it. That was a look back at 2024, which was a not spectacular movie year, but it was a year. So obviously, that was our look back. We have our look ahead coming out. That will be coming out next week. If you want to see us talk about the movies coming out in 2025 and see our early reactions to the slate of the year. Other than that,
and like we said, a lot of these movies we've reviewed already, so feel free to go and check those out. We're going to go much deeper into each film. This is kind of just briefly talking about each one that came out this year. So
exactly, a lot of these have reviews out there already for them already. So check those out. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.